Welcome to Vegan Finds, where we're going to turn this into this Cincinnati, also known as Skyline chili. Okay, so tonight's dinner we are making Cincinnati chili. For those of you who are not familiar with this regional dish, it's basically a meat-based chili that's put over spaghetti. In Cincinnati, I think it's also referred to as Skyline chili. But in any event, that is what we're making. Of course, we're going to vegan finds it up by using spaghetti squash instead of pasta. And obviously, you've seen us use spaghetti squash in a few things recently. And part of the reason is that it's A, nutritious, B, low in calories, C, high in fiber. All good things, especially if you're, looking to lose some weight over the holiday binging that you've probably done. Even if you're, not not been eating, poorly. This is just a nice dish to have. So we're gonna start by cutting up our spaghetti squash in half, scooping out the seeds, and roasting it in the oven to cook it. So it's going to roast in the oven anywhere from 40 minutes to an hour. It depends on the size of the squash. So I'm going to set that up. I'm going to get that in the oven, and I will show you how to make the chili part of our dish. Okay, so while our spaghetti squash is heating up in the oven, cooking, I'm going to get dinner started. So I got a tablespoon of olive oil into our pan here, and I'm going to start sauteing up about a cup of onions, just like so. I've got 3 cloves of garlic that are going to go in next. So we're just going to saute these till they're translucent. Then I'm going to add our garlic, and then I'm going to add our chopped meat to this. Add our garlic in. Like so. Give that a good stir. So while that's cooking up, let me talk to you about spices. In my little dish here, I got 2 teaspoons of dark chili powder. You can use any chili powder you like. I've got a teaspoon of half a teaspoon of smoked paprika, half a teaspoon of cumin, a teaspoon of onion powder, and a teaspoon of garlic powder in there. And I think that's it. Oh, and a quarter teaspoon of cinnamon. Okay, so now I'm going to add our ground meat. In this case, I'm using the Gardein beefless ground. I used a little bit less oil than I normally do because Doris is doing a special kind of diet thing here, and I don't want to mess her up. And since this is really basically pretty much well cooked to begin with, because it is, vegetable, not animal, I'm going to start by sprinkling in our seasoning. Whew. Just missed the pot right there with a little bit of that. Get that in there. And I'm just going to add a little bit of veggie stock to this. Just to help it along. And we're just going to turn up the heat just a tad. It smells really good. You're probably wondering, hey, what about tomatoes? Don't those go in there? Yes, they do. Got a can of tomato sauce. I'm using canned because that was on sale. really inexpensive, so we like inexpensive whenever possible. We'll let this come up to a little sizzle. I'm going to add our can of tomatoes. Now if you have tomato paste, you can add a little bit of that to give it a richer flavor. I'm not going to open up a can of tomato paste just for this. And we're just going to let this start to cook. Once it cooks for about 10 minutes and starts coming up and bubbling, give it a taste, see if it needs some salt, see if it needs some pepper, or any of the other seasonings that you might have added. I am going to add just a teeny tiny pinch of nutmeg to this. I find that nutmeg kind of adds a little, hard to say what you would say about adding nutmeg to the sauce, other than it's there and you sense that there's something there, but you just quite can't put your finger on it. That's nutmeg. So we're going to let this cook. I'm going to give it a little taste. Definitely need some heat because that chili powder was not particularly hot. So I'm going to add, and I've never had Cincinnati chili, so I don't know if it's supposed to be spicy. So I'm going to add a 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. I mean, we like our food spicy in this house, so 1/4 teaspoon may not be enough. It does smell really good, though. I happen to like those dark chili powders, and you can use any kind of chili powder that you like. We got a million different kinds in the house, and I usually just grab the first thing that I can reach. Give it another little quick taste. Ooh, that's good. You can just sense the heat. I'm just going to add another teeny tiny little pinch more as the sauce is splattering me. So I added another 1/8 of a teaspoon. I'm just going to lower the heat so I don't get completely doused in this and ruin another t-shirt. But that's basically it. Oh, duh. Now, normally speaking, when you're adding the beans, you would add them on top of your Cincinnati chili. In this case, I'm going to mix it right in. So I'm going to go drain these. I'm going to add them in because I want them warm. I don't want them, cold. Add my beans in now. Give that a quick stir. Now, traditionally, it would be like the dark red kidney beans. I'm using a smaller light red kidney bean just because that's what we have. And again, these are recipes that are a guide. You don't have kidney beans, you have black beans, just black beans. And it's not really going to change the flavor all that much. So I'll be back to show you the final product. Our spaghetti squash is done, and we are going to put this together right now. In case you're unfamiliar with how spaghetti squash works, this is it that's been cooked, and you just basically scrape it like so. It comes off in these nice long strings here. We're just going to take that and put it into our bowl like so. Oh yeah. All right. Here's our finished chili. Now, traditionally, you would top this with beans, but I put the beans in. You also put onions on top. There we go. Beautiful.
What, we have no red onion?
Do you want to if you get some red onion, I'll chop it. Okay, so we topped ours off with a little bit of red onion. So here's the final product. You got your Cincinnati chili. That's basically it. I got nothing other than to say enjoy, be healthy, follow us on Facebook. If you like the videos, please subscribe, share with your friends, leave a comment, give us a thumbs up. Hit that bell for the notifications because we are coming out with videos fast and furious. Vin Diesel will be guest starring in our next one. Not really. I may shave my head for that one though.
You're an idiot.
Let's see. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, all under the name Vegan Finds with an S, not a Z. At least that's what my wife says. And we'll be back with some more great recipes.